Hi guys, thank you for joining me on this video. I have another great word from God. And I got this message on February 25th, 2023 at 8:09 a.m. And this is what God has to say. He says, the measuring stick has given its measure. The fullness of its measure depends on who is going to be receiving it. And then God says, I will leave that with you, my children, for you to figure it out as your homework. Very interesting. I'm going to come back to that at the end of the message. So God says, blasphemy, ridiculing, blaming, suffering, castration, is all but a few things that are taking place. Terrible, horrific things are taking place. Put on my armor, stand in total protection, for the road is going to be bumpy. I saw people on a roller coaster ride, and they had that protective arm that comes down like over your shoulders, and it was on really tight across your chest. And I saw people hanging on real tight, and the roller coaster ride was really shaking and bumping and going side to side and really shaking the people up. And so that was the end of the message. And what I did is I was wondering, okay, what did God mean by the measuring stick has given its measure, and its fullness of its measure depends on who is going to be receiving it? And he said, that's our homework. So I went and looked up the scripture that describes, any type of measure. And this is what I came up with, guys. I saw Luke 6:38 says, give and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be put into your bosom. For with the same measure that you use, it will be measured back to you. I think that's a good one. And then Matthew 7, verses 2 and 3 says, For with what judgment you judge, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured back to you. And why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but do not consider the plank in your own eye? And lastly, I went to Revelation 11, 1 to 5, and it talks about the two witnesses. So I think all of these scripture is relevant to today's time, but the one in Revelation caught my eye because I feel that God has been giving me a lot of messages about the last chapter of the Bible, Revelation. And so this one says, Then I was given a reed like a measuring rod, and the angel stood saying, Rise and measure the temple of God, the altar, and those who worship there. But leave out the court, which is outside the temple, and do not measure it, for it has been given to the Gentiles. And they will tread the holy city underfoot for 42 months, and it will give power to my two witnesses, and they will prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the two olive trees and the two lampstands standing before the God of the earth. And if anyone wants to harm them, fire proceeds from their mouth and devours their enemies. And if anyone wants to harm them, he must be killed in this manner. I feel like God's trying to tell us something through this particular message about those two witnesses and about that part of Revelation. So I'm going to leave it with you because he said it is going to be our homework, and whatever we come up with. I would love to hear your comments below, whatever you feel God had meaning in this message that he wanted us to do our homework on. So please leave me some comments and messages, and let's try to dissect what he wanted us to hear in this message. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I wish you a great day. Looking forward to your messages. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you soon on another video. Bye for now.